Welcome to That's Rad Life, Love, and Wedding Planning in the Pacific Northwest, where our goal is to educate and elevate. I am Radhika, planner and owner of Rad Occasions, and today I'm joined by Stephanie Thi, a talented florist I met while I was at Alt Summit, a conference in Palm Springs, a couple of years ago. Welcome to the show, Stephanie. Could you please share your pronouns and where you are joining us from today?
Yep, I go by she, her, and I am in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, USA. Because I know you're in Canada, right?
Yes, I am. Yeah. And is it cold there for you right now? Do you have snow? I don't even know.
It's so funny. So last week we had a blizzard snowstorm on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then it was like -2 degrees out, and then Friday it was 80 degrees. So
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
it's like a
Strange
huge
weather.
jump. And yeah, and then
Yeah.
it got colder a little bit. It's like 30 some or almost 40 degrees today,
Yeah.
but I mean that's not that bad. And the sun's
I
out, so
Oh, that's good. I mean, this is the thing. I feel like we can't complain because we like get called the Hawaii of Canada all the time, and then other people have snow and we have like nice sunny weather, but like it's just chilly. Yeah.
yeah, like coastal weather, yeah.
Yeah. So I know I just mentioned Alt Summit in Palm Springs, and we haven't really seen each other since then, but I've been following you on IG. Have you been back to Alt Summit? Have you
I cannot
kept in touch?
remember which one I met you at. Do you know what
I
year it
think it was
was?
a couple of years ago,
Okay,
2024.
that might have been the last time I went then, because I don't think I've been
Okay.
back since then either. So, no, but I went to a couple before that too. I think it was like, gosh, 2024? I don't know. I have not
Yeah.
been back since I met you, I don't think. Um,
Yeah, it's a bit of a commitment, that's for sure.
I mean, it's pretty far. I know a lot of there. I've met a lot of people there that are locals, that live in Palm Springs and they go like every year or whatever. And then I met some people from far away that go every year too. And I'm like, wow, I wish I could go to California every year. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I met somebody from Japan last time we were there, actually.
Yeah. Interesting. I met some people from Germany once and France, but it
Mhm.
doesn't. Gabrielle live in France now too.
Maybe,
The
I'm not
the
sure.
lady that like
Yeah.
runs it. Yeah, I think she lives in
Yeah,
France.
possibly. That must be nice.
Yeah.
So can you tell me a little bit about what you've been up to the last couple of years?
Yeah, so I feel like the last time I went to Alt Summit, I had just like literally just opened my brick and mortar and I'd been open for like 2 months. So that is what I've been doing. I opened my brick and mortar and we've been, getting it running in our town here. That's kind of been taking all my attention. We've really expanded our wedding offerings. So we're doing a ton more weddings. And I just feel like it's been just like that's my whole life the last like 3 years, just nonstop shop weddings, flowers, trying to raise awareness that we're here and let the locals know.
So do you live in a pretty small town or is it big?
I wouldn't say it's like small. It's not like a tiny town, but I mean we're the biggest city in South Dakota, but South Dakota isn't a very populated state. So I think there's about like 200,000 people here. So I mean, we're not like gigantic, like a big metro area, but I mean, it's still
Mhm.
200,000 people, still plenty of people for
Yeah,
who needs
definitely.
flowers. Yeah.
Yeah. So is it mostly destination weddings or do you get locals that are getting married there?
It's a mix. Yeah, it's a mix. I do like a couple of like so far, knock on wood, I've done like 2 or 3 destination weddings per year, which are pretty big events. I really plan on following, like, they take up a lot of my time, but a lot of them are local too. And then there's some surrounding, like I'm doing some down and there's another city closer to us called Sioux City. I'm doing some there. This year, I'm trying to think. Sometimes I'll go up to Minneapolis, which is like about 4 hours away to do weddings there too. So, but yeah, so it's a little mix. It's a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did you always think you were going to be a florist when you grew up, or did you take a different path to get here?
No, wouldn't say I always wanted to be, no, I was going to be a florist. I mean, I had interest in it, but I was very like artsy. I was like, I'm going to be a painter. I was like the only kid I grew up in a very small town of like, I don't know, like 900 people. So I was like the only person in my grade, like left in art class by the time we were like seniors. So I was like, I'm going to be like a painter or a sculptor or something. Went to art school and then I don't know, just kind of fell into flowers at some point. I feel like a lot of my classmates from art school did too. So, because it's one of the few jobs that, you know, constantly are using your education, your art your art background to use constantly. They're like one of the few creative jobs that you're constantly using those tools and stuff. So, yeah, it's interesting. But I love it. It's awesome.
So did you train to also be a florist, or is it your art background that you're leaning on?
No, so I got hired by a local shop and they kind of just let you go for it. They'd be like, you either kind of had it or you didn't have it. So I do think like being a creative person definitely helps. I've taught so many people too, where I'm like, "Oh, you can't really be bad at this, but I'm wrong. You can be very bad at it, it turns out. I was like, "You can't really mess flowers up, but you can." So, yeah, I didn't have a lot of training, and then the shop that I worked for didn't either. She just kinda started when she was, like, I don't know, like, in her 20s or whatever, and went for it. And, I mean, you learn stuff. I mean, I do think there is value in education because now I'm, like, constantly just searching for new things or, like, different ways to do things, but you also find that a lot of it, we're just making it up as we go.
Yeah,
We're just
that's
like, how to
fair.
yeah. Yeah.
Let the
So
flowers speak to you.
yeah, there's a
Yeah,
little bit of, like I do think, like, education is important, and if you can learn some stuff, but then also being able to step outside that is, helpful as well to, like, create
totally.
your own
Yeah.
signature, yeah, looks and
So
stuff.
would you find that not having a formal education is like the biggest learning curve that you've had, or if you've seen other things like with the brick and mortar?
Yeah, so I don't know, like, so if you were to go into, like, a school and, like, do flower education, I don't know what they would be teaching you because I had to, like, kind of, like, figure a lot of it out on my own, like, how to, like, price things and, like, build things and I would say, like, doing, like, actual arrangements and designs, not so much of a learning curve for me, that was, like, pretty natural, but, like, how to do weddings and how to, like, price things out and, like, certain mechanics or, like yeah, things like that, I feel like would be helpful. I'm sure there's, like, lots of techniques that I don't know about because I don't have, like, a formal education in it, but I also don't know, like, what they are teaching either exactly in, like, a formal education setting because I know that they're also different too. Because I
Mhm.
know, like, in Europe, they, like, have, like, really, like I feel like the flowers there are definitely more art focused, where here, I think you can go to, like, the technical college and, like, they'll teach you, like, recipes and, like, all the old-fashioned, like, techniques and stuff, which I don't know. I don't know,
Yeah.
I guess it just really depends upon what you're trying to get out of it and trying to do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's fair. Yeah. So with that, do you find that you're like looking at florists that are classically trained at all to figure out some of like those kinds of things, like the mechanics?
Yes and no, because I feel like a lot of, like, the big ones that I follow or, like, ones that I've, like, mentored me also aren't classically trained. I mean, there are
Hmm.
some, I've met some that are actually they do know some fun little things or whatever, or they know, like I feel like a lot of it can be a little bit dated too, just because I feel like the floral industry, especially in the last few years, has been really evolving to just be, like, a super creative thing compared to what it used to be. So, I feel like I don't know. I don't know. I feel like we're all just kind of like making things up. I know that
Yeah.
sounds so I'm like, I feel like a lot of it is made up, but then I get a lot of tips and like there's new stuff happening all the time, like new tricks and new things. So like, I mean, like going to the hardware store and just like seeing, like picking something out and being like, let's try this
Oh my
and
gosh.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
It's so
So I feel
funny. I
like,
never
yeah, go
the
ahead.
hardware store, I'm there way more than I thought I would be. And I'm just like getting things like zap straps and like batteries. But yeah.
Zip ties and like
Yeah.
wire and like all the like clamps and like all the
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so I think it's like really evolving now so that like a lot of the techniques that I use now aren't even being like taught in like a like a
Hmm.
formal floral background or whatever. Yeah, I'm sure you know because you do like events and stuff. I'm sure you're like trying to figure out how to do stuff, like get
Oh
stuff
my
to stick.
gosh. And I don't know about you, but, like, I also now have people giving me, like, AI images, and they're like, "Is this possible?" And we live in a very windy area because 'cause we're by the ocean, so it's a lot of, like, that would be great if, we were in a closed off dome, I guess?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have to deal with a lot of wind too because we're like on the prairie.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know, how do you deal with that when you get those kinds of inspiration photos?
So the big one that we get a lot of are like fake flowers, like silk flower images, or flowers that have like a filter over them. So like the colors are just like not possible. So,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah, so we just try to be, like, upfront and realistic with them and be like with clients and stuff, I mean, you can be I mean that's all you can really do, honestly. I mean, I'll call out like, I don't haven't got a lot of AI images for inspiration yet, knock on wood, but lots of silk, so I just have to be like, flowers just aren't gonna bend like that, or, like, they just aren't gonna look like that because that's clearly not, like, a real flower. I can't get that color. And then we also run into a problem here because we're so far away from like the coast and stuff because flowers are imported. And our growing season here is so short. So a lot of times we can't get flowers just because we're so like in far away from everything. There's just certain ones that just don't travel well, especially dealing with like the winters too. And like it gets really cold here in the winters and snowstorms, delaying flowers and stuff like that. So I mean, the main thing was just being upfront and honest and being like, "I'll try my best to get what you want, but I can't, like, always guarantee it, unfortunately,"
Yeah,
which I wish
that's
I could.
fair. Yeah.
Also, I wish
So,
certain flowers existed that I see. I'm like, "Wow, I wish that was real."
yeah, that would be nice. So with you bringing in flowers, are you finding that like sustainability is something that's hard to focus on because you have to drive everything in?
Yeah, so that is something I would, like, try to commit to and, work on, personal things, that I can do. Like, I mean, the floral industry is really, interesting in that way. So, like, during the summers, obviously, I'll work with, like, local farmers. That's kind of that's where we get a majority of our flowers in the summers and during the growing season. But when we can't, I am getting them from wholesalers and stuff, but things that we can do in the shop is, like, monitor, like, our water use. I mean, there's floral foam. We're foam free, so we don't use foams, which are, like, bad for the environment, full of microplastics. Everything we do, we try to reuse stuff. So I used to do a lot of dried flowers, and so you can reuse those things a lot. Reuse our mechanics a lot, just stuff like that as far as sustainability goes, and do the small things that we can do while also still running our business, I guess.
Yeah, and also while the world is still a little bit on fire.
Yeah, I know. I mean, yeah, isn't there like some statistic that like most of the pollution and stuff is like from like three companies?
Yeah, yeah, I've
Yeah,
definitely seen
it's
some
on us.
memes where it's like the entire planet is like on fire and like it's me using my paper straw.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Here's
Yeah.
my straw." I know,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, yeah, there's just yeah, I mean, and we try to compost a lot of things too if we can, but we run into some issues with that because we don't know what, like, pesticides and stuff are used on flowers and where they're coming from. There's no, like, regulations, unfortunately. I mean, yeah, I don't know. And then there's if you really dive into it, there you can really find a lot of like dark sides of the floral industry and stuff. And the best thing we do is try to source them from people that we know and trust.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and then you're giving back to the community that way too. So, I know I just touched on it a little bit, the world being on fire, the current political climate, do you
Yeah.
find that that is affecting your weddings or even, like, your business?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I don't know about so you're in Vancouver, right?
We're in Victoria,
Oh,
really close
Victoria.
to Vancouver, yeah.
Okay, gotcha. So you're in Canada. So I don't know if you know about like the United States and things that are going on
We hear
here.
a lot about it,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
sure you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I met some girl from, like, Singapore a couple years ago, and she's like, "We always know what's going on in the United States. You guys are very loud about it." Oh, I'm like, "Oh, okay, sorry. I was just born here, I'm sorry." But anyways, yeah, so it's a little crazy right now. I live in if you probably don't know much about South Dakota politics, but, I mean, we're a very red state, so lots of conservatives, and that's always interesting to navigate being, like, a person of color. I mean, it's predominantly white around here, so that's always, like, interesting as well. Yeah, I don't know, I feel like this year and last year actually the last few years, like, when the election was coming up, people were, like, not spending money. I feel like they're being a little bit more conservative about spending their money right now too, because we just feel like I even personally am like, we don't yeah, I don't know, and I feel like they're being more intentional with what they're wanting to get for their weddings, like, I feel like there's a lot more smaller scale weddings too, like, happening as well. So and definitely the retail part has been, like, a lot slower than typical as well, I would feel like, but, I mean, we're still doing I feel like this last year has been one of the better years compared to the last 2 years, but yeah, it's really interesting to navigate. I mean, I don't know how to show up, like, online. I remember, like, a few months ago, I, like, had shared something on my personal page, and someone had found it, and like, were, like, review bombing me and yeah, all that stuff, but then all my customers showed up and, like, left me, like, reviews.
Hmm.
So I there are, like, pockets of, like, joy still, you
Yes.
know?
Yeah.
It's hard to know what to say or how to say things without there being some sort of, like, emotional response from, like, someone or something, yeah.
Hmm. And then are you finding that with that too, that even like couples are showing up differently? Because I know, like, with the DEI initiatives being rolled back, I'm noticing that people aren't really being more value focused. They're being more focused on the cost of things, like you mentioned.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like, I don't know exactly how to put that. They definitely are focused on, like, the cost. They're definitely, I feel like in my process, they'll come back and edit things down a lot more. Like, they wanna see, like, their dream, but then they're like, "Oh, no, my dream is too." And then yeah, with all the tariffs we have too, like, our flower prices have gone, like, way up, so they just doesn't go as far anymore. And now with gas prices going up too, I think they went up, like, 30% in the last, like, 3 days. That's, like, crazy.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I mean, definitely, like, I feel like they're being more intentional with what they want, and a certain I just am not seeing as much, like, lavishness, I guess, but, like, I was seeing a ton of lavishness, but I feel like we're not spending, like, a ton on, like, installations or we're focusing on just, like, what is important to them. Yeah, I feel like that's been
Yeah, and, I don't know about, like, with you at destination weddings, but I find also that there's the concern of, like, well, it's only just for one day, and so
yeah.
we offer a service where we take the flowers to seniors home so they can be enjoyed for a little bit longer. Do you run up against that as well?
I feel like because well, for destination weddings, they're pretty, like, relaxed and figure out what they wanna do with them. I feel like those ones are usually, like, really big spenders for me anyways. So, they're, like, really laid back for some reason because 'cause
Yeah.
they're just like, "Yeah, we're flying you in. This is great." And I'm always, like, waiting for, like, something bad to happen and then never does.
Mhm.
I feel like I know, feel like I've talked about this with, like, other wedding industry peeps or whatever, but sometimes when they, like, have a lot of money, it feels like they're a little bit easier to work with just because they're just like, "Yeah, sure." They're a little bit I mean, if you have a lot of money, I imagine you're more relaxed.
Yes, I imagine that too.
So, for not for destination weddings, but for, like, here in, like, local I mean, just the way that, like, our local like, growing up here even, and just the way that, like the way people are here, I mean, we're very small town oriented, I guess. So, I mean, we do, like, care about our money and, like, what we're spending it on and, like, how much things cost. That's, like, a very something that's very ingrained into, like, I feel just, like, the culture of, like, the Midwest, here. They're not like they're probably gonna try and take their flowers home a lot of times or use them until, like, they're gonna get the value out of what they're spending on. What I mean?
Yeah,
Or
definitely.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I wanna ask you, are there any memorable stories you can share from weddings? Anything that was like, "Oh my gosh, we didn't plan for that, and this is how we fixed it."
Well, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
You're always forgetting something or we didn't pack something, and we have to run and, like, figure out how to, like or, like, when you can't, like, drill into walls, how are we gonna hang this? Or gosh, anytime I forget something, that's, like, the biggest thing, or having to do, like, multiple trips. That's, like, oh my gosh, I don't even know. I'm,
Yeah.
like, having nightmares thinking about it right now. I've forgotten, like, dates before, or I mixed up dates where I thought it was, like, a Friday and it was actually on a Saturday, or I mean, it was on a Saturday and it was actually on a Friday, and so we'd had to, like, hurry and get everything done really fast. We've had, like, an installation fall, not during the ceremony, thankfully, but, like, after we, like, put it up, that was, like, crazy. The wind is, like, a big crazy one that we're always trying to figure out. We spent, like, all day fighting the wind for, like, a company party recently. They really wanted to put, like, flower bouquets outside and, like, on these huge stands, and all day. We were trying to get the stands to stay, and the event planner was just like, "No, we need them. We need them outside. They have to be outside." So we kept like, I think we probably could have been done in an hour, and instead it took like 6 hours until she was finally like, "Okay, I guess we better bring them inside."
Wow, that's a
So
long
I'm like,
time.
"Oh."
Yeah.
Flowers were just, like, wrecked and blowing out of their, like, contraptions because the wind was so bad. They tipped over a bunch of times. I'm like, "Okay, well, that's probably the most
Yeah.
recent one that happened." Yeah, but yeah, just lots of things all the time. And so when something bad doesn't happen, I wouldn't say bad, but just something like, you have to, like, adjust for, I'm always, like, suspicious. Like,
Oh my gosh, I know. I'm like, what is the next weekend gonna look like?
This feels too easy."
Yeah. Yeah. What's your favorite moment from a wedding day?
Like, on a, like, regular
Like
wedding
on an
day.
actual wedding, on a regular wedding
Oh
day. No
god.
wind, no forgetting
Yeah,
anything.
I love being able to give the bride her bridal bouquet and just, like, her seeing it for the first time. I think that's so fun because I love making them because I like to meet the bride and, like, kinda get a feel for her vibe and, like, her energy and stuff. So if I, like when I really nail it and they see it, I don't always get to see it though because 'cause they're getting ready and someone takes it to them. So I like to be able to, like, when I do get to be able to, like, see them when they first see it, I'm like, "How do you love it?" And they like yeah, it's just so fun. And then the other thing is when we finish, like, the very last thing and we're cleaning up, I just, like, love looking around and just seeing, like, everything that we built, and it looks so perfect, and it's not messy anymore, and we get into the car, and I'm like that, like, you can, like, finally breathe. That feeling is really good. Yeah, yeah. But I love doing it. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I could do it all the time, but it's, like, a lot of stress for one day.
Oh my gosh, don't I know it?
I know, it's so funny. Do you feel like, after, like, a day of, like, a wedding, like, you have trouble, like, grounding yourself, I feel like because 'cause you're just, like,
Yeah. The
stimulated all day?
decompression? Yeah, I have to, we're done at, like, 1 in the morning sometimes after, like, takedown, and so I'm usually out for, like, another hour or 2 just trying to, like, calm myself down and decompress. I'm a Pisces, so,
Yeah.
really, gather all of the feelings, and then I'm like, "They're not my feelings, they're not my feelings."
Yeah, I need to, like yeah, I understand that's what sometimes it takes me,
Yeah.
like, a couple days to, like, be normal, just because 'cause I'm so, like
Yeah, and it's a lot of pressure too, right? Because for a corporate event, you're like, "Okay, if something goes wrong, we can try again next year. There's other
yeah,
ways to, fix it." But for a wedding, it's really
if you
hard
miss
to
something
know.
yeah, or if
Yeah, there's no
yeah,
redos,
yeah.
and yeah, and I also find too that for example, when I'm working with, queer couples that I also, wanna do, even better for them because I know they're in an industry that doesn't necessarily see them as widely as, a heteronormative couple would be seen. But, yeah, it's almost like another added pressure where I'm like, "I want you to feel safe and seen and heard."
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
understand that, I feel the same way, um, totally. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know, do you have a lot of queer couples in Sioux Falls that are getting married?
No, yes and no. I mean, I have a lot of queer friends. I don't have a ton. I mean, I've had queer couples come. I have a lot of queer customers. I've done a couple of weddings. I don't have any on the books right now. I mean, it is a little difficult to exist here. So I don't know how loud everyone's being about that right now. I mean, I still am connected to like our like trans advocacy groups and our pride groups in town here, but I don't know many of us are getting married and stuff too, you know? So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's difficult. I mean, South Dakota is very conservative. We have like one of the strictest like abortion laws. I don't know. I feel like it's got to be really hard for trans people. I mean, it's everywhere. All their rights are getting taken away constantly. Yeah, it's just it's a tricky thing to talk about and navigate for everyone. I know two of my close friends, they got married during COVID and they're always constantly talking about like their marriage getting rolled back and stuff. Because I didn't that I feel like, well, I don't know how close the politics you're following, but I feel like that was on the table recently and the Supreme Court. I think it got like axed, but I mean it was still like threatened, you know. So I haven't seen as many queer couples this year as previously, which is just a bummer.
Yeah, we actually had a situation where we had a couple that was already married in the States that wanted to get legally married here in Canada, just in case things got rolled back. And it turned out that because we recognize marriages in the States here in Canada, they can't get married again. Would be considered fraudulent. So we weren't able to do a legal ceremony for them here unless they got divorced in the States first.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, see, I wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
know that either. That's so
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like it got thrown out. I feel like it would cause more problems for people for the
Oh,
even like
100%. Yeah. But I do remember, yeah, because we had a couple from Atlanta that came up this last year and got married, and their photographer was sharing a lot of resources because it turned out that if you got married before any new things happened with the law, then your marriage would still be considered valid. But I'm like, it's so scary to even have that be a possibility.
um,
It shouldn't be something that you have to think about or worry about.
I
Yeah.
don't understand why people care. It's so ridiculous. And then I know right now trans people are being attacked. Like, I feel like, gosh, there's the state below us. I think it was Missouri. All their licenses got like revoked overnight, and I think it has to do with like voter suppression, um, so that they can't vote. Because I think someone is trying to be a president for another term when he's
Yeah. Well, I hope for your sake and for the world that doesn't happen.
me too. It's like funny but not funny.
Yeah.
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 Like, what can we do? I don't know. It's hard to not feel helpless sometimes, you know? I don't
Mhm.
know,
I get
but
that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I just think about what happened when that late night host was canceled and everyone started canceling their Disney subscriptions. And I'm like, if
Yeah.
we, yeah, and then he got brought back. So I'm like, if we can all mobilize for that, what else can we do?
No, yeah, I know. I feel like there is like glimmers of hope like that when you like have community and stuff, which is super important and definitely keeps me going for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Feel like I don't know. I know this morning, I think they just deployed. So right now our airports are kind of shut down because they can't reach an agreement. So they deployed ICE to the airports, and it's already just a mess, yeah. So I get really worried about that too, just like, I don't know. My mom, especially, she's an immigrant. She came here when she was like 16, so she's been here forever, but I mean, they're just abusing people left and right. It's just so scary. I don't know. Man, and Minneapolis is so close and all that stuff was going down.
Mhm.
That's like, well, we
Yeah.
go there all the time. So we're like 4 hours from there. So
Yeah, and I think being in Canada, we pay attention to this stuff too because we're noticing, well, at least I'm noticing that the last couple of weddings we've had from the States, guests are hesitant to come across the border because they're worried that they won't be able to get home. And,
yeah.
I've never had that be a concern before. Before, the concern was about making sure that nobody was getting sick because of COVID and making sure we were all following the travel rules and the restrictions for weddings. So it's a wild world out there for sure.
It gives me goosebumps thinking about it. I know we're flying soon too. I'm just like a little nervous. Just like they're like taking people that just even look like they might be ethnic. So I'm like, oh God, here we go.
Yeah, me and you don't have a choice to figure that
Yeah.
out.
I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yeah. Well, I'm
Anyway.
gonna end this on a little bit of a lighter note.
No, sorry.
No, it's okay. I wanted to play a little game with you called
Okay.
Florist This or That, if that sounds good to you. Yeah?
Yay. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm gonna give you two items and then you can tell me which one you prefer. Okay? All right. Ground ceremony arrangements or a traditional arch?
Arch.
And wedding party florals or only florals for the couple?
Only florals for the couple.
Really interesting.
Well, okay, I would say I shouldn't say that. If there is a wedding party, I think they should have flowers, but I've been loving that there are no wedding parties, is what I should say. Oh, like,
Oh,
I've been keeping it
okay.
lately. I think that's fun, where it's just the couple and they're
Yeah.
just like opting not to have a wedding party.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I do. Okay, so I take that back. Yes,
Okay.
for the whole.
Yeah. Okay. On
Yeah.
that note, wearable flowers or whole. Yeah. Is it more complicated to make like flowers for like a lapel or like?
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the like more creative ones. I just feel like corsages and like the plain boutonnieres are not my favorite thing. If they're wanting to do something a little bit more like intricate and like, style wise, then yes, wearables. But a lot of times it's just a plain corsage and a plain pin on boot. I don't love pin on boots. I don't like making them. I know they're like small and simple, but I'm like, oh, what a waste of time.
Well, and honestly, I feel like everyone hugs everybody so much that, like, by the time you're getting
Yeah,
to,
they
like,
look
cocktail
really
hour,
bad.
yeah, they're all squished and yeah, it's not great.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Do you prefer bud vases or frog arrangement?
Ooh, frog.
I've been
Frog, I think.
noticing that a lot of florists like those a lot more. I think you can just, like, play with them a little bit more. Is that
Yeah,
right? Yeah.
there's just a little bit more, like, they're just a little more fun. Bud vases are pretty simple. I mean, they look really pretty if you get, like, a ton of them,
Mhm.
but I just like to be able to play with it a little bit more and
Yeah,
have a little bit
that's
more of a
fair.
artistic element.
Okay, fruits or vegetables in floral arrangement?
Ooh, I think I like the fruits better. They're just a little softer to me. But I've been seeing some really wacky ones. Have you seen, like, I just saw one that a bride had, like, a bouquet of broccoli.
Oh, yeah, I did see that one.
And I
Yeah.
was like, "Okay." I mean, it looks cool. I think it looks cool, but I just like it just looks like a little hard for me. Or I saw like a cabbage like tree, Christmas tree this year, which I was like, "I bet that smells." It looks cool. It looks cool, but I'm not into it as
I
much
didn't
as
even think about that.
yeah, I know. But I think, incorporating fruits and vegetables is still fun, but I lean towards fruits more.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, vegetables too, I feel like some of them, they start to, like, wilt in certain situations. We just did radicchio last year in, like, a styled shoot, which we had to find some at the last minute because there was snow here, which doesn't happen very often in Victoria, and, it just ruined all of the radicchio.
My gosh, funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that. Hilarious. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've done stuff with, like, grapes are a big one, and then oranges. I really like the oranges. I think they're just so pretty, the colors. Yeah. That's my favorite
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's hard to get those colors in flowers,
Yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, next one, disco balls or gemstones?
It's hard because I do both. You should see my
And
shop.
I've seen your website with the disco ball arrangements.
Yeah, it's all disco balls and gemstones. Oh my gosh. I think I'm gonna lean towards gemstones this time just because I've done a lot of disco balls, and I think I am liking gemstones right now.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to incorporate those things. Yeah. Okay, last one, dried or silk florals?
Probably dried. I just, like,
Mhm.
don't love silks. I feel like they're too easy to spot. They're too easy to tell. Like, have you seen Bridgerton?
Yes.
That it, like, drives me crazy because you can just tell how fake those flowers are. Like, the leaves, especially when they, like, run into them or grab one, I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's so fake, you can tell." It
Okay,
drives me
I
crazy.
don't think I can tell, but I also don't see flowers every day.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I can super tell just the way that they are. So, I
Yeah.
think I would prefer dried flowers just because I know that they're, like, real. They have, like, more of a real texture, and I know what they are. They're not trying to pretend.
Yeah, that's fair. So before we go, can you just share what's next for you and in flower, where people can find you if they want to give you a follow?
Yeah, so we're on Instagram at, our handle is _inflower. We do a lot of fun stuff. I have been kinda quiet on there lately, but I'm making an effort to, now that the sun's coming back out, to have more energy and do more fun stuff on there. I have a big wedding coming up in Boston, Massachusetts, which is a big deal for us because we have to travel for it pretty far. And it's going to be really fun. Lots of pinks, and it's very Rococo meets modern glam. She's like Marie Antoinette
Wow.
situation. So it should be really fun to follow along on that. We're going in a couple weeks here. And then yeah, this summer local flowers and all sorts of stuff like that. Yeah, and then our website is shopandflower.com. We ship everywhere and to Canada.
Fantastic.
Not fresh flowers, unfortunately. I
Yeah,
don't think we would
that's
make
a
it,
little
but
hard. Yeah.
yeah, we have lots of different stuff like that.
Well, thank you so much. And I'm really glad we got to reconnect.
You too. Have a good rest of your day.
Stephanie, a huge thank you to Stephanie for joining us for this week's podcast episode. We will be wrapping up the season next week by taking a look back with some of our couples from past seasons and also chatting with Rob. I know you haven't seen him in a while about our wedding 6 years ago. In the meantime, stay rad.
to the right? Can you feel it deep down in your soul? Can you dance to the rhythm and lose control? Can you